My wife once looked me in the eye and said, "I'll never betray you." But months later, I discovered she wasn't just lying to me. She was living an entirely different life behind my back. And the way I exposed her turned my world upside down forever. For 10 years, I believed I had the perfect marriage, a beautiful wife, a peaceful home, and dreams we thought we shared. Everyone around us admired what we had. To the world, we were proof that true love still existed. But the truth? The truth was darker than I ever imagined. It started with little things, moments so small I almost ignored them. But those moments piled up, and before I knew it, I was standing at the edge of the biggest betrayal of my life. Update 1. It all began innocently enough. Late-night phone calls, messages she quickly hid, and sudden girls' nights out that never used to happen before. I told myself I was overthinking. After all, we'd been together for years. Why would she lie? But then, I noticed changes. She started guarding her phone like it was a treasure chest, a password lock that I didn't know about. Notifications cleared before I could ever glance at her screen. And when I asked her casually, she'd laugh it off. "Don't be paranoid. It's just work." Still, my gut refused to stay quiet. One night, while we were having dinner, her phone buzzed on the table. The name on the screen wasn't saved, just a number. She grabbed it so quickly, it almost fell from her hands. And her smile. It disappeared for a second. That was the moment I realized something was wrong. Very wrong. I tried to bury it. I wanted to trust her. But the universe has a cruel way of showing you what you need to see. A week later, I came home early from work. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Her purse was there, her shoes by the door, but no sign of her. Then I heard it, her voice, soft, hushed, coming from the balcony. She was on the phone, laughing, whispering, and the way she said, "I miss you," it broke me, because she had never said it like that to me in months. I stood there in silence, hidden in the hallway, listening as my wife told another man she couldn't wait to see him again. That night, I didn't confront her. I couldn't. My body was frozen, my heart shattered, and my mind screamed one question. How long has this been going on? Update 2. After that night, sleep became a stranger to me. I would lie awake beside her, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment in my head. Every late return from work. Every sudden errand. Every fake smile she gave me to cover her lies. And yet, I still had no proof. Only suspicions. Only doubts. So I began to watch. Quietly. Carefully. I told myself I wasn't being paranoid. I was protecting myself. Because if I was right, my entire life was about to collapse. The first step was simple. I stopped announcing when I'd be home. If I was supposed to finish work at 7, I'd leave at 5. If she thought I was away on a business trip, I'd drive back into town without warning. Each time, I hoped that I was wrong. That I'd find her at home, curled up with a book or cooking dinner like old times. But hope became my enemy. One evening, I came back unannounced. The lights were dim, music played softly in the background. At first, it felt normal. But then, I noticed, the living room smelled of cologne. Not mine. Stronger. Sharper. I froze at the doorway, my heart beat louder than the music itself. She appeared minutes later, pretending nothing was unusual. Her hair was slightly messy, her shirt buttoned wrong. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but instead, I smiled, kissed her forehead, and said nothing. Because I knew, if I showed my cards too soon, she'd only bury the truth deeper. So I changed my approach. The next day, while she showered, I picked up her phone, password protected. I tried her birthday, our anniversary, even her favorite number. Nothing worked. My own wife had locked me out of her world. But I didn't stop there. I noticed she carried a second bag to work, one she never left lying around. One morning, after she rushed out, I checked. Inside, makeup, perfume, a spare dress, and a small box of condoms. My chest went cold. My hands trembled as I put everything back exactly where it was. There it was, the first undeniable sign that my wife wasn't just drifting away emotionally. She was cheating, actively. Still, I needed more. More than hidden bags and whispers. I needed the truth in front of my eyes. So I followed her. It was a Saturday. She told me she was going shopping with friends. She even kissed me goodbye, as if nothing was wrong. But instead of watching TV, I got in my car and trailed her from a distance. She didn't drive to the mall. She didn't go to her friend's house. She pulled into a quiet hotel parking lot on the edge of town. I sat there, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white as I watched her step out of the car. And then a man appeared. Tall, broad-shouldered, familiar. Too familiar. It was my closest friend. The man I'd trusted for years. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. All I could do was sit there and watch as the two of them walked into the hotel together. My wife, my best friend, hand in hand. At that moment, my world ended. But a darker, colder part of me was reborn. Because if betrayal was the game they chose, then revenge would be mine to play. Update 3. When I saw them walk into that hotel, a part of me wanted to storm inside, to drag them both out, to scream until my throat bled. But I didn't. Because anger only lasts a moment. Proof lasts forever. And if I was going to take my revenge, I needed proof that no one could deny. So I sat there, in my car, staring at the hotel entrance. Minutes turned into hours. Every time the door opened, my heart leapt. But it wasn't them. Finally, close to midnight, they emerged. Her hair messy, his shirt untucked. Laughing, smiling. My wife, glowing in someone else's arms. I raised my phone and snapped photos. My hands shook, but I didn't stop until I had everything. Every touch, every smile, every stolen kiss. The next day, I began my plan. Quietly. Carefully. First, I installed cameras in the house. Tiny ones, hidden in corners she'd never notice. I hated myself for it, but I needed to see what happened when I wasn't home. Within days, I had my answer. She brought him there. To our home. The place we built together. The bed we once shared. Watching the footage nearly destroyed me, but it also steeled my resolve. There would be no forgiveness. Only justice. But cameras weren't enough. I needed undeniable evidence. Messages, calls, everything. So I did what I never thought I'd do. I hired a private investigator. The man was blunt. He'd seen cases like mine hundreds of times. He didn't sugarcoat it. She's cheating. But don't just catch her. Bury her. Within 2 weeks, he delivered. A thick folder. Photos of them together at hotels, restaurants, even sneaking into his apartment. Screenshots of text messages. Her words, her lies, her betrayal spelled out in black and white. I can't wait until he's gone. You make me feel alive in ways he never did. Maybe one day, we won't have to hide anymore. Each word was a dagger. But with every dagger, my plan grew sharper. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I played the role of the loving husband, smiling, cooking dinners, even surprising her with flowers. She accepted it all, believing I was still blind, still naive. But every night, when she slept peacefully beside me, I stayed awake, staring at the folder of proof, waiting. Because revenge, I realized, is not about rage. It's about timing. And when the time was right, I would expose her for what she truly was. Not just to me, but to everyone who ever believed in the lie she called love. Update 4. Weeks passed. On the outside, nothing had changed. I still played the perfect husband. Smiles at family dinners, jokes at gatherings, the picture of loyalty and love. But inside, I was a volcano, waiting to erupt. The folder of evidence sat hidden in my desk. Photos, videos, texts, proof so strong that no excuse could erase it. All I needed was the right stage. And then, the opportunity came. Her birthday. She wanted a big celebration. Family, friends, neighbors, even colleagues. She planned it like she was the star of some glamorous show. I said nothing. I simply agreed, because I knew this would be the night her mask would finally shatter. The evening arrived. The house glowed with lights. Music filled the air. Laughter echoed through the rooms. Sana moved gracefully among the guests, smiling, hugging, accepting compliments. To everyone, she was still the perfect wife, the perfect woman. But not for long. I waited, patient, calm, pretending to sip my drink as the hours passed. Until finally, the moment came. The cake was cut, the candles blown out, applause filled the room. Everyone's eyes were on her, and that's when I stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, raising my glass, "I'd like to share something tonight. A gift, not just for my wife, but for everyone here." The room went quiet. Curious faces turned toward me. Sana smiled nervously, unsure of what I was doing. With a click of the remote, the projector screen behind me lit up. At first, a photo appeared. A simple one, her and me, smiling together years ago. People clapped, thinking it was a slideshow. But then, the next image appeared. Sana, sitting in a cafe, laughing with another man. Murmurs rippled through the room. The next photo, her hand on his. The next, both of them walking into a hotel. And then, the texts. "I can't wait until he's gone. You make me feel alive. One day, we won't have to hide." Gasps filled the air. Whispers turned into silence. Every pair of eyes turned toward Sana, her face drained of color, her smile collapsing. "No, no, this isn't," she stammered, her voice trembling. But I wasn't finished. I pressed another button. Video footage appeared. Grainy, black and white, from the hidden cameras. Her, in our bedroom. With him. Laughing, kissing, betraying. The silence was deafening. Some guests looked away, others covered their mouths in shock. My best friend, the man she had chosen over me, was pale, sweating, frozen where he stood. And me? I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I simply looked at her and said, "This is who you are. This is the truth I've lived with in silence. Tonight, everyone sees it." Sana collapsed to her knees, begging, tears streaming down her face. "Please, Ali, stop. We can fix this." But I shook my head. "No. You broke something that can't be fixed." Her lover tried to speak, but the room turned on him. The same people who once welcomed him now looked at him with disgust. I left the remote on the table, turned my back, and walked toward the door. My last words echoed through the heavy silence. Betrayal doesn't destroy me. It frees me. And from tonight, I am free. Behind me, chaos erupted. Sana sobbing, relatives whispering, friends walking away in shock. But I didn't look back. Not once. Because sometimes the greatest revenge is leaving them to drown in the ruins of their own lies. Update 5. That night, as I walked away from the party, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Not joy, not anger, just peace. The truth was finally out. The lies that once chained me had been burned away. Behind me, my wife's world crumbled. The friends who once praised her, the family who once adored her, all saw her mask fall apart. Her tears didn't move them anymore, because they all knew every smile, every excuse, every late-night lie had been a performance. And the man she betrayed me with? His reputation was shattered beyond repair. The same people who once respected him couldn't even look him in the eye. He wasn't just a cheater. He was a coward exposed in front of everyone. As for me, I didn't need to scream. I didn't need to fight. The truth had spoken louder than any words I could ever say. In the days that followed, she tried to reach me. Calls, messages, even showing up at my door. But I stayed silent, because once trust is broken, silence is the only answer left. She begged for forgiveness, promised to change, claimed it was a mistake. But betrayal is not a mistake. It's a choice. And she had made that choice every single time she looked into my eyes and lied. So I moved forward, alone, but stronger. Every scar she left on me turned into armor. Every night I cried became fuel. Because the truth is, betrayal doesn't end your story. It starts a new one. And to anyone listening to this, remember, when someone shows you who they truly are, don't wait for them to change. Believe them. Walk away. Because the greatest revenge isn't in destroying them. It's in rebuilding yourself. And that's exactly what I did.